U.S. no longer recognizes Lukashenko as president of Belarus after rigged election.
Here's a summary of the article.
The U.S. no longer recognizes Alexander Lukashenko as the legitimate president of Belarus, the State Department said in a statement on Wednesday. Fresh protests broke out Wednesday evening in Minsk after it emerged that Lukashenko had held a secret inauguration ceremony. The United States cannot consider Alexander Lukashenko the legitimately elected leader of Belarus. The path forward should be a national dialogue leading to the Belarusian people enjoying their right to choose their leaders in a free and fair election under independent observation. The situation is clear for us. We consider the elections of August 9 fraudulent. We don't recognize Lukashenko as the legitimate president of Belarus. Now, Lukashenko has been showering praise on Vladimir Putin, and in return, he received pledges that Russia will offer financial support and deploy an auxiliary police force to Belarus if needed. Lukashenko has faced fierce global condemnation as he's cracked down on the protests that followed the election, but Putin has stood by him as hundreds have been arbitrarily detained and even tortured. Where things stand, Lukashenko seems to have retained the loyalty of the security forces, but he's clearly lost much of the population.
This post received a score of 51,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
So what are the implications of this?
Putin will continue to prop Lukashenko up as long as he can, like Assad.
Right up until it's convenient for Russia to station troops in Belarus for security purposes. And then 10 months later, oops, we accidentally annexed Belarus. Whoopsie. Oh well, too late to give it back now. Also known as pulling a Crimea.
If Lukashenko gets overthrown, Putin might do that. Otherwise, I think he's perfectly content having a puppet there. Annexation is much messier from an international relations perspective.
They annexed Crimea and the world didn't do a damn thing. They don't give a fuck about what Europe and the West thinks.
Yeah, but Crimea has a warm water port. Which what I was told during world history classes was that much of Russian history can be boiled down to, Russia wants a warm water port. Belarus is a landlocked nation with similar kinds of resources as Russia already has. No need to take it over when you can have a puppet there instead.
This is accurate. Besides wanting a warm water port, the other thing guiding its history has been Russia wants distance from its enemies. It has always wanted buffer territories, states.
This is the main reason why Russia wants to keep Belarus. They don't have any natural barriers like mountains between the Russian ethnic core of Moscow and the Western European powers. Right now with light traffic you can drive from Berlin to Moscow in about 19 hours, or fly there in about 5 hours on a passenger plane. This guy looks like a creator player in a dictator game where you can't get the licenses to actual dictators.
Side note, I miss gaudy dictator uniforms. The hat. The shitload of medals. Pinochet had a fucking cape. Step it up, boys.
This is an excellent point. How am I supposed to know whether or not they're the real deal if they don't have an oversized cigar, golden aviators and a brightly colored sash?
I'm so fucking tired.
I am quite literally exhausted as well. Hang in there, friend.
AWH, yeah, we can't let them take our spirit. I'm here with you, friend.
The tyrant's greatest weapon is their ability to instill fear and despair. The single best way that you can combat them is to not despair. No matter how dire the news makes the world seem, do not despair. The moment you consent that their reality is the right reality.
Thank you. Also, how many times have you read Lord of the Rings?
In the end, it's only a passing thing, this shadow. When the sun shines it will shine out the clearer. Folk in those stories had lots of chances of turning back, only they didn't. Frodo, what are we holding on to, Sam? Sam, that there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.